What's up, guys? Welcome back to another 2GR MR2 progress video. Right now, I'm in the process of making the wiring harness. It's I told myself I wouldn't do a concentric harness, but I'm kind of going down that route. So it's turning out pretty cool. It's not a true concentric harness, really, but it's close enough for what I want and what I like. Because this is with TXL wire. Normally you do a concentric harness with TFSO because it's a lot thinner and stuff. So, I mean, if you had TFSO, this bundle would probably be like 2/3 the size of it. So, but it's all good. And then I have, all the ends here. This is where the bulkhead connector is going to sit. And then, yeah, I've just been having kind of fun like wrapping it and stuff. I mean, the joints and stuff aren't going to be like high class or whatever, but this should be fine because this main exit harness right here, it's like tied under and crisscross with other harness sections and stuff, and then like exit points are kind of like this, so if you tug on it this way, it'll pull on the whole harness, stuff like that. Which is kind of cool. I haven't gotten there yet, but this is where the crank position sensor is, so that's just, I think, pretty much the end of the motor, and then that'll be up to the firewall. And then I have the knock sensors here. That goes the 2 knock sensors under the intake plenum. But yeah, this right now I'm on the 4th layer. That should be the last layer because it's just the fuel injectors. Like fuel injectors, cam sensors, the solenoids for that stuff all the way in the back. Pretty much everything up front in the rear bank has been wired up and stuff. I just need to kind of like route it and twist some stuff together. Then I just have the fuel injectors on the rear bank. And then this section, these 3 right here, the fuel injectors for the front bank. And then that's the cam sensor. Or no. Which one's which? This one. These 3 are the fuel injectors. And that one's the VVT solenoid. And that one's the cam sensor. And then I'll have like the alternator and stuff. Like that wiring over there. So yeah, that's pretty much the process of it. I mean, I've turned out pretty sweet, not gonna lie. The conductor, I know with concentric harnesses, there's normally supposed to be a conductor strand count per layer. I'm just kind of throwing stuff on and then seeing what sticks, really, because the way I started making this harness, I don't have the rope on here, but I attached rope here, and I pretty much just mocked up the entire harness with nylon rope, and then based off that, I cut up the wire in what lengths I need, and I bundled them all together. So normally with like a concentric harness, you'd have the shielded kit, the core, and then you'd probably be running like 16 gauge, 18 gauge, all your like power supply stuff through the center. And then, you get the lighter gauges as you go up the layers. But mine's just kind of like, I kind of just base mine off of the length of like the distance of stuff has to travel. So everything in the front bank, all the major stuff like the coil packs, that went first. The coil packs went first. Then the second layer was just for like the rear bank because the coil packs, it left enough room in the second layer to actually fill in the rest of it with just the rear bank, which is really nice. And then now I'm on the 4th or the 3rd or whatever. I don't know if the core counts. But yeah, and then so this gap will probably just be filled up with the rest of the harness, the alternator wiring, AC compressor stuff, starter, so hopefully. I mean, it's a pretty decent gap, so I'm hoping it all works out. Hopefully it's under conductor count, because then I can just fill it in with dead wire if I really want to. But yeah, I should have ran the starter solenoid core as well, but it's whatever. It's only 16 gauge. It's not too thick. Yeah, here I have, these are just, like the pre-cuts, just based off the mock-up harness. But yeah, I mean, this is just the rope. This isn't the actual mock-up, but it's just stuff like this. You just cut it and tape it together, and then I get an idea for the branch points and stuff. I had an idea for the branch points on the mock-up, and then basically what I'm doing is that I kind of mimic the branch points somewhat on this harness, because this is all twisted, so the exits are gonna be a little different. And so the branch points on this harness are gonna be a little different from the mock-up. Also, the branch points on the mock-up might not just be like efficient, because you just have a ton of branch points everywhere. And then so yeah, I'm just kind of like doing some work here. I have like I just finished like fuel injectors in the rear bank, so I'll be taking this off the devices, and then just throwing it on here, kind of get an idea where I want to route it, and then you know, throw it back on, do the next section, you know, just kind of going back and forth just to get like the fitment and stuff really perfect. Because you could totally just make the mock-up with the rope and then just make the harness and just throw it on here. It'll totally work, but I really want like a neat and tight fit up. And then the heat shrink, the sheathing, I'll probably do like a mix of DR25 and D-Ray. D-Ray is like it's sort of like DR25. It's more, I think it's more for diesel applications, but it's a little cheaper than DR25. But you know, it's subject to change probably. I mean, it kind of depends how much I have to order. But to be honest, I think the most expensive section is just going to be this main like 1 inch thick part. Because this is about like, it's about like an inch. So I think like 1 foot of like inch DR25 is like $10 or something. It's crazy. But you know, I'm hoping the rest of it won't be too expensive. But you know, I want to have it last forever and you know, be reliable and all that. So I'll probably go up with a DR25. It's either the heat shrink DR25 or the expandable braid, but I don't think expandable braid really holds up that well with heat. But yeah, and I am thinking of doing like the normal black sheathing with the DR25 D-Ray, and then maybe doing a colored expandable braid on top. It would be pretty cool. I might do like a tan or cream or white or something, but that's, you know, I can do that later. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the wiring. The headers, I'm still making up. I had one design, and I talked to Mark at Frankenstein Motorworks, and he gave me some pointers, so I have to kind of redesign everything. But I don't know if I can really show it off, really. But the design I had was all three of these primaries all came out and met in the middle on the plane of the center port. He was telling me that it's best to have it all shoot over towards the flywheel side, and that way you can use, oh man, it's really hard to see, but there's like this little notch here in the subframe, and so he was saying to use that for the white pipe, but I have to get measuring here, and then so I can get like the CAD boundaries and all that. What else is there? Just some stuff. Fuse box. I started sort of working on the fuse box stuff. Let me pull it up here out of the abyss. This is just the Eaton Busman. You know, I had tested some crimps and stuff. I had temporarily wired up the starter solenoid just to get it to spin because it's cool. I'm gonna be using a 2GR starter. This is gonna be kind of sounding weird, but I wanted to use the S54 starter because I think it sounds better, but I don't know. I like the 2GR one because it has like an actual connector and it's not just like a blade terminal. Yeah. What else is next? Yeah, it's just the exhaust. The ECU will probably be coming in soon. What else is there? I mean, math pipe. I still gotta get the fuel system going, but that's not too hard. I also have to weld up that aluminum thing, which I still gotta practice aluminum. Either that or I've seen some people, I think Rat2 does it here, the coolant fill. I'm not sure if I really want to do that because I think there's some weird quirk with it. Also, it's a really small hole, but it is really clean if it's on this side, so who knows? Maybe I'll sacrifice that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's just been wiring and stuff. Honestly, so I had started making this harness with the thoughts that I would use a very small concentrically or just a twisted core, just something like this. I was just going to use this and then flat lay everything on top. But then now I've gotten here, so, you know, this is, you know, I'm having fun, so it's cool. I got to plan out the molded boots for the exits here. I think I may get like a T-boot here, do something with that, but who knows? I'm hoping you won't really see this section too much because this might be like a little ugly spot. But the main this trunk right here, that's the most important part because this is the part you'll see hanging off the firewall there. It's just gonna be like this kind of like sling, and it's just gonna go in. So that's the most important part. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. It's surprisingly hasn't really taken me this long or that long to get to this point. At least the twisting and stuff, the cutting and stuff. That was like a day. This is, I mean, I don't know, also maybe like a day. It's not too bad. If I was doing like a real concentric harness, this would have taken forever probably. So I'm kind of happy I found like a middle ground. But yeah, this is all just 22 gauge. You can see some of the 18 popping through, like right there, right there. I'm hoping that having this 22 over top will just kind of like really like cinch it down and kind of tighten it up a bit so I don't see any like lumps in the heat shrink. But the heat shrink, the DR25 and the D-Ray, I know that stuff's pretty thick once it's recovered, so it'll probably hide some of that. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. Next video, I don't know, this is the next video. Next video, this harness will probably be done, and I might have started working on the headers or something. Actually, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe the next video will have like startup or something, or just maybe a video about the header design, or I don't really know. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.